Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Music Lab podcast. My name is Dogg, and I'm so excited to be back with all of you for another episode of the podcast. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, our social media pages. That helps us. That helps the bands like Snacktime. Also, check out our sponsor, RAR Outfitters. That's RAWR, outfitters.com. Don't just wear, RAR. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sam from Snack Time. This is, I think, the closest geographically that I've interviewed a band, man. So, congratulations for that.
Yeah, man. Glad to be nice and close by. I could feel the internet is working great.
Exactly. Pennsylvania, proud. So you've lived in PA and Philly all your life then?
No, I was born in New York, raised in Florida, been in Philly for about 13 years now. So it's slowly becoming my most lived in place, which is crazy, but I'm glad to be here. Definitely claim Philadelphia.
So, of course, the national sports media, like overall, like the rest of the country kind of looks at it looks at Philadelphia as this like, blue collar kind of, yell at you, kind of throw batteries at Santa. But what's Philly really like for you?
Philly is a place I've said this for a long time. Philly is just one of those places that it's like they are so protective and proud of what they have. And, it's not always squeaky clean and definitely not always easy or palatable. But Philadelphia is very protective of its exports and its people and its things. And I think we have it's a very big reason for our success is Philadelphia taking stock and believing in us.
Well, and I mean, just from a musical history, the city has offered so much to the rest of the world. I mean, talk about that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's from beginning of early music in America, like you have legendary, famous jazz musicians who are from here. Benny Golson, Lee Morgan, John Coltrane was here for a very long time. Yeah, and then all the way to the Sound of Philadelphia, which is obviously iconic for the mid '70s, early '80s, and that goes on to hip hop with like Freeway and that group, Beanie Siegel, and even it keeps going. And I think a lot of the times Philadelphia becomes a place where people start and then they go somewhere else. But a lot of Philadelphians also are very proud to be from Philadelphia, and we will forever be a band that will be we're a Philadelphia band. We're not like, oh yeah, they started in Philadelphia, now they're in LA. Like we're in Philly. We're a Philly band. We are very grateful to be a Philly band. We want to keep putting Philly on the map.
Yeah, that's important. That's absolutely important. But this weekend, you guys made the trip up 95. How was traffic getting up to Boston?
Easy on the way up. We hit a little bit of traffic on the way back on Monday, but nothing we couldn't handle. It was nice and easy. Boston is driving straight is easy. Driving across is a little weird when you start to hit all the other kind of like little weird highways, but we're very grateful for 95. It's a very good highway.
So talk about your experience at Boston Calling with 5,000 people in front of you for your afternoon set, correct?
Yeah, first band of the day, and it's kind of strange to not really know like, oh, how many people are going to be here, but you walk off the stage after your line check and you turn back around and there's there's a lot of people there, so we're always excited to kind of show what we do and kind of surprise an early crowd who might not know what to expect.
Being this kind of the first festival of festival season for you guys, how much was the set list, thought about?
Um, so we designed the set list pretty like we have like a 30-minute set, a 45-minute set, an hour set. Where we used to be a little bit more improvisatory driven, we're now sort of dialed in because the worst thing that could happen on a set like this is when they give you a half an hour and then you're playing and then you're like, oh, let's just do this and keep it open. And then you don't get a chance to play this, like, maybe a really special song for the crowd that you really want them to hear. So we are very rehearsed and to the T about what we're going to be playing at these timed festival slots.
Yeah. Was that kind of evolutionary then, or was that kind of from the beginning that you guys?
No, 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 very much so. When the beginning, when we started in the streets, we didn't even have any music. We just improvised everything. It was going from song to song to song, and just, whatever happened, happened. Most of the time it worked really well, as you could see, by the success of people, or by the success of us and people liking us. But sometimes we would try something and fall on our faces. So we were very grateful to, we played a lot of music, so that was all very improvised. And our first festival looks, we were like, cool, we got two songs, let's just do that and then improvise the rest. So, we were asked to play Firefly Music Festival and we had one song. They didn't know that, but so we then, as we started to be more focused on like trying to make it a show versus just playing, started to really design our sets, and we're very much into the transitions and how to seamlessly make a set of music happen. We're very inspired by Earth, Wind, and Fire and Prince in that way.
Yeah, that's a good segue. Like, for our audience or for someone who's not familiar with your music, what is the best way to describe your music?
I would say it's soul, funk, rock. Um, it's inspired by Prince, Parliament Funkadelic, Sly and the Family Stone. It's also inspired by, in some respects, like hardcore music, hip hop music. We come from a lot of different places, and it's sort of just the distillation of all of our different music choices and loves, and sort of making it come together in one snack time package.
So, I mean,
Music to me, yeah,
talk about that. I mean, you started out as a five piece. The pie's quite small, like how do you divvy up five pieces of the pie and make it work?
yeah. Well, we were very lucky from the beginning in this band. We were always down to do the weddings, down to do corporate events, and that has allowed us to continue on to tour and play festivals when obviously it's not always on your first big tours, it's not like a big money making operation, but we get out there, we sell merch, and we work really hard during the year, and we're full-time snack time members. And whether that's us doing flexing our muscle as a corporate band sometimes and playing for, we're playing our original music just in like people know us as a band that can do that thing. And whether it's that or we're out in the festival stages playing, we're doing what we want to do and we're doing what we love. So it's special.
So, any horror story from a corporate event that you guys have done?
No specific ones, but I think a lot of the times if we get hired by a really cool client and we expect it to be like, oh my God, this is going to be life changing. Everyone cool is going to be there. And no, it's just actually their holiday party and they want to come and drink beers and talk to their coworkers, and they're not there for a snack time gig. Like, so we hype ourselves up a little much. And then if people don't respond to the music in the way that we necessarily are expecting, maybe sometimes we react in a not great way to ourselves. I think we just freak ourselves out a little bit. No, we're always grateful for it, and I think it teaches us how to adapt to a crowd scenario depending on where we're at.
Well, I mean, you guys, since the summer of 2020, like when you were doing shows in Rittenhouse and in past Young Square, like you knew how to draw crowds. Like, talk about those days, like when you first started out as a band.
Yeah, I mean, it really taught us. It like we went out there and we would just be playing in the park, and the idea was like, all right, like let's just go play because we want to play. And instead of like being like, oh man, only X amount of people are out here, we'd be like, cool, 15 people are here to come see us play. That's awesome. And then 15 turned into 20, then 20 turned into 40, and then 40 turned into 60, and then 60 turned into 200. And we didn't do it for like the reason of like, oh, we're out here to make X amount of dollars at first. Like we did it because it was like, shit, like people are coming to see us play, and it's the first time they've heard music in a long time. So, we know very much how to address the people who want to come see us, I guess, if that makes sense. Like we are very into pleasing the crowd. We love to do that.
So,
So,
how often were you doing these shows then when you guys first started out?
oh, 2, 3 times a week. It was awesome.
Wow.
It was really cool. I mean, we 2, 3 times a week, and there was a time during the early days of snack time we would be playing 8 gigs a week. It was crazy.
And did any of the members, were any of you guys in other bands before this, or was this all your?
Yeah,
Okay, talk about that then.
we
Yeah.
were all freelance musicians. Some of the guys were in a band together. Me and Ben had been in ska bands together in high school. I I had been in ska bands forever, like since I was like a 12-year-old. So I was in bands since I was a kid, and yeah, everyone had been either some sort of professional band or on tour with another person's band or in their own personal projects. So yeah, everyone had been doing a long thing. So in a way, Snack Time is sort of like, I guess, a super group of the Philadelphia music scene. And yeah, we all decided just to lock in on this, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's to play with eight members, like you said, now you guys currently are in. I mean, is it tough to try and get everybody together like for tour, like when you're touring, or is it
You know,
quite easy?
touring is actually probably the easiest because,
Okay.
we're on our mission goal. Sometimes, some people might take a little longer to get out of the house or, get out of the bathroom or whatever. But, we are a squad and we know what the mission is. And ultimately we know like if the time is 12 o'clock to get on stage to go play, you get on stage at 12 and we go play. And yeah, I mean, everyone has a really good head on their shoulders and is coming not just only to work, but to make the mission happen.
So when you released the album in 2022, what kind of expectations did you guys have personally for you as a band at that point?
I think we were just kind of happy to be getting into the process of writing real songs as opposed to like our more sort of like jammy ones that we used to do back in the day, where on our first recorded stuff we were kind of like much more into the open stuff, but we were trying to really write some songs here and some hooks, and the expectations, always are to take over the world with your song, but it's also just a good practice and continuing to write better and better songs, and these songs have done great for us, and they will continue to teach us lessons in what to do the same and what to do different, and it's been awesome. It was a really great experience getting to work with Will Yip, and yeah, it was cool.
So how many songs did you go into the studio with, and then what you ended up obviously with the album?
Yeah, no, we with this EP, this is dance music. We went in with six, came out with six.
Nice.
We have not been afforded the luxury of being able to sit in a studio for 2 months hashing out songs. Like we go in very much mission based. Like, all right, cool, we have these songs to record, let's go. And I think we would love to have that time, but we're also so busy. We've always just been so busy with this band that it's not necessarily easy for us to like take a month off to go rehearse and record. And so we rehearse our music, we get it going, and then it's great to work with producers who help us edit down. But yeah, we usually go in with the stuff we want to record in mind, and then we finish it.
Do you think with these like extended tours that you're doing, will that allow you guys to do some recording of new songs that at some point or
I
not?
mean, we already have been. We have three new
Okay.
songs recorded. We just released Sunshine, which came out last month, which has been going great for us. So yeah, I mean, we're always gonna get it done. I think it's just in a little bit different of a way than other bands might be used to, like where they might be able to do a whole record or 10 or 15 songs in one push. We might have to do two songs a week, but that's okay because it's what we do.
Yeah. Talk about Sunshine. What was the inspiration for that song and who wrote that?
Yeah, Sunshine's an awesome one. It was written mostly by me, and then obviously, and Mike was a really big. Mike Spearman was a really big contributor to it as well. And then with these songs, I mean, like they're written, and then the songs become snack time songs when the band gets to them. So everyone really had a big part of it. But it was initially written by me. It was sort of this like more saccharine, sweet love song, which then once we were able to, we talked to some trusted friends, and they sort of gave us the idea to like maybe think a little deeper on it and like not just make it like one note love song, like make it more thoughtful, make it a little bit two-sided. So
Right.
the song's meaning really is now more along the lines of like love when it's not so easy, love when you're old, love when you're not so sexy, love when you're the hard part of love, not when you're young and easy and free and doing exactly what you want to do, but like the love where like it's hard and challenging, and accepting and receiving that love is really, it's something I think we all want to strive to have. So it's that idea of like the realistic love that I think you don't really get to understand so much when you're young.
I mean, good segue. Like, I'm not sure if you're single or taken, but like, how is dating life in Philadelphia nowadays, man?
I wouldn't know. I've been in a relationship for 3 years. Most of us, I believe, are booed up, but
Okay.
I see a lot of people coming to our shows, falling in love, and we've had a lot of people say like, "Oh yeah, we went on our first date, one of your shows in Rittenhouse," and 2 years later, they're at our headlining show at Brooklyn Bowl or whatever. They're like, "Hey, we're getting engaged," and so I think love is in the air all the time in the city of brotherly love, and I wouldn't know how the dating scene is, but I hope it's good.
Let's hope so, right? So let's talk about the music venues in Philadelphia and the ones that mean the most to you.
Yeah, there's so many iconic Philadelphia places, and we've been very lucky to play a lot of them. We played Union Transfer. We sold that out with Martha Graham Cracker back in the day. We also did the Jason Kelsey show there. We have played TLA. We sold that out, which was awesome. We have had the opportunity to play the Fillmore a couple times, not headlining that yet. What else? We have not played Electric Factory yet, but or now it's called Franklin Music Hall. We're looking forward to that day, but also a special shout out to Brooklyn Bowl, which is sort of like our home base. We were one of the first, I think we were the first band to play there, or maybe the second band to play there, and we played a lot of our hometown shows there. We love Brooklyn Bowl and are really grateful for that squad over there for giving us a place to plant our roots down a little bit.
Yeah, Brooklyn Bowl is a what's cool about Brooklyn Bowl is no matter where you're at, your sight line is just amazing to the
They
stage.
they designed it great for sure,
Yeah, definitely. And the Fillmore is quite nice as well.
for sure.
Having other half next to it doesn't hurt either.
Yeah.
Man, they make some good beer. So let's talk about the food scene, man, because you guys, like the importance of food to your band, is quite well known. Like, talk about that and like why, like, that is so important to you guys.
Can you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
Yeah, like you're the importance of food and like how like,
Yeah.
you guys have worked with Jose Garces, you've worked with, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, so the way the band started was like this, right? So we had I had this event that I had called Snack Time, which was highlighting lesser known chefs and lesser known musicians to do a cool collaborative event. And we did one and it sold out and it was awesome. And then after that, um COVID happened, of course. So I got shut down. Following that, we were able to get called by our friend Jen, who we did the first Snack Time event with, and play some music outside. And that's kind of what started us playing in the streets. So I worked in the food industry, not like I say cook or anything, but like I just worked alongside a lot of food people, and I have so much respect for them, and we all do. And there's so much of a similarity, I think, in the way that restaurant workers and musicians are sort of treated and accepted. I think that people like, you might be able to people might be able to go to their job as like people who work at desk and have a bad day and not perform as well. And then, they're not going to get fired or have a Reddit post about them. But like with us, like, or restaurant workers, you're expected to bring the same A plus 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 performance every single night. And, it's not like we don't have our own stuff going on. So a lot of humility and a lot of empathy rather for, for that. So that's all to say without the emotional backsplash of it all. We love to eat. We love to drink. We love to have a good time. And snack time is the intersection of food, dance, dance backslash community, drink, and music. And it's just all these things that are beautiful to share together, right? It's like, what's better than going to a show with a bunch of friends and dancing and screaming and having a good time. It's like also the same as like getting together on a Sunday and having a big giant bowl of fucking pasta and Sunday gravy and drinking too many bottles of wine and having a good conversation. Like it's all the same shit, you know. Coming to a show or having a big dinner with your friends or going to the bar. It's the idea of snack time and community, and we love that.
And the restaurant industry has always been a foundation for musicians, whether it bartender, server, whatever, so it is. They kind of go hand in hand, right?
Absolutely.
So I would be remiss to not ask, what is your favorite spot for a cheesesteak in Philadelphia?
Yeah, and I'll preface this in saying that I'm not the biggest cheesesteak head. I think that I do love them, but I try to avoid them more than have them because I think they're not very good for me to have more than about once a quarter. But shout out to Angelo's Pizza. That's a homie. Danny is amazing. He makes incredible food, and I think by him stepping the pizza and cheesesteak game up has allowed for lots of other really amazing restaurants to be able to do the same. There's another restaurant called Del Rossi's, which is making incredible cheesesteaks and pizzas now. And Circles and Squares is another one that's been doing really great stuff. All that's to say is I believe there's good cheesesteaks and bad cheesesteaks. There's ones who care about the meat they're serving, who care about how the cheese emulsifies into the meat, who care about what kind of bread they're using, and there's the ones who are just slopping it on a roll and whatever. I think they're both valid, and I think that a good cheesesteak can taste great, and I think a bad cheesesteak can taste great. But I'm not really here for the 15 articles about the top 10 cheesesteaks. I think there's a lot more amazing food in the city to be eaten.
Yeah, I love ramen, so like I always try and find the best ramen in Philly, and there's been some great spots that I've found.
Yeah, well, Neighborhood Ramen is really good friends of ours. Jesse and Lindsay are great friends. I opened it up with them. I was working the front of house for them as they got open, and they are now moving to Japan, so they downsized into Esso Ramen. So if you haven't been to Esso Ramen, you definitely should.
Okay. And that's in near Passyunk then, or where?
Queen Village.
Queen Village. Okay. Okay. Nice. So let's talk about, playing in front of 5,000 people like Boston Calling this weekend compared to like 150 people at a club show. How obviously the energies are different, the crowds are different, but what else to you as a band makes those, situations different?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like the situation is like this. When you sell tickets to a show, you're either it's your show and you know how many people are coming to it, or at least a rough amount, depending on door sales, or you're opening up for another band. So they've already co-signed you and you know it's going to be either cool or not cool, but like you have a really pretty general idea of how many people will be there. But with a festival, especially being the opener of a festival, you don't know. Like we've done festivals where it's a huge festival. We go on at 2 o'clock and everyone's kind of not getting there yet, or maybe they're eating lunch or whatever, and there's play for a couple hundred people, and playing for a couple hundred people at those big stages can feel a little jarring, but so you get this opportunity to be like, all right, no matter who shows up, we're gonna give them our best, and that's not always the easiest thing to do when there's not a full crowd, because we've been very blessed with very many opportunities to play for really big crowds. But for this example, with Boston Calling, we got off the stage for our line check and got back on, and there was, by our managers, guests, 5,000 people, and we ripped it. And it's really already paying off in dividends. We sold out of our merch over there. There's people talking about it on Reddit, and it's a really special feeling to go into a new crowd of people who do not know you and maybe change their expectation.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like a new audience, that's the biggest thing, right?
Hmm.
Just a new audience. Because if you write a great song and nobody hears it, is it really a great song? Right?
Exactly.
So let's talk about Philly sports, man. Let's talk about the Sixers first of all. Are you more of a Sixers fan, or who's your biggest of the sports teams?
I'm a Sixers fan for sure. I mean, we love all the Philly sports in this band, but I'm a big Sixers fan. It's it was a tough year. and I'm hoping that some changes are made in the offseason to help what we got. But I'm very proud to be a Sixers fan. We're very grateful to have been able to be have the chance to play through for a lot of their halftime shows and be a part of their events. And it's a fun team to watch when they're great, and it's a hard team to watch when they aren't living up to the expectations I think that the city believes in them. So we love the Sixers. All that to say.
As a lifelong Sixers fan, when I witnessed the lottery, a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
as soon as I knew that we got the sixth pick, or the predicted, of course, I was excited. But then when I saw that we got the third pick, as a Sixers fan, we have not always done well with the third pick.
The
So
Sixers have a very checkered at best past of their selections,
yeah,
specifically in the third slot.
yeah. So what do you think they should do with the third pick?
I would like to see what they could do with the third pick traded alongside maybe some of the older veteran players that are taking a lot of money from
Yeah.
the cap and see if they may be able to trade it for someone to move some stuff around. Whether or not that happens is remains to be seen.
Are you a
I'm
Maury
not.
fan or no?
Yeah, I mean he's amazing. It's hard, man. I don't know. I don't know how these guys freaking do it. I'm also being a little restrained because these are we don't want to talk too crazy about our
Oh, Sixers fans are passionate. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
But I don't know. I think they're gonna do great. And I'm not a big college basketball guy, but I know that they're looking at this guard from Rutgers, right?
Well, I think, yeah, conventional knowledge is obviously Cooper Flag's going to go number one.
They
This
say.
this Dylan
I have I
Harper,
have a take on that though. I think that was a gift to the Mavericks.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
The lottery balls don't fall that good.
Well, there's a funny thing I saw that like apparently like it's happened like 7 or 8 times over the past 20 years that someone has traded away their franchise player and then gotten the first pick. And for Luca to go to the big one of the biggest, maybe if not the biggest basketball market in the game, it seems kind of weird. But good luck to Cooper Flag. I hope he does great.
Yeah.
And I wish we had him. He looks really good.
Yeah, I think he'll be pretty good. Yeah. The funny thing is though, man, like the East, especially depending on where Giannis goes, like the East is wide open because Tatum's going to be out for most of next year.
Yeah,
So
it's
like
gonna be
that's gonna
crazy. It's gonna be crazy. I do expect Boston to definitely know how to fix that up, though. I mean, it's gonna be
yeah.
hard without Tatum, but it's not like they don't have some really good players on that team too. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Boston still be tough. But depending on what happens with the Knicks, man, the Knicks have been a scary team when they're really good. And as we saw last year when they beat us, they are really good and they have a lot of edge and heart and soul and you know,
Yeah.
connectivity between all of them. So I know this isn't a basketball podcast, so I'll end my answer, but I hope we do good next year.
I hope we do too. As well as the Phillies have been doing.
Yeah, number one team in baseball right now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Which is pretty crazy, because now you don't have your closer for the next rest of the year.
Off the weight loss drugs, huh?
I know. How about that? You would think you'd know that, right?
So, man,
Uh,
I think a lot of these players and a lot of these coaches are doing a lot of things that people don't know.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Portugal the Man tour because that was really your guys' first big opportunity, correct? To go on like a more than month-long tour with anyone, correct?
Yeah, it was our first tour.
So, I mean, talk about that. What the excitement, the build up, like, yeah, I mean, just,
Yeah, we had a chance. We had a chance to play with them at this really cool radio show in Philly, and our management has a good relationship with them. So we were able to play with them, and then they invited us on the tour with them, and we're super grateful for this, for them giving us the opportunity, like not only to be on tour with them, but to really like be a part of their infrastructure and their team and their community. And it's really been a special, special, special thing for us. And they've allowed us to not only just open up, but be a part of their show. And even in some respects, they allow us to do the encore for their show. And it's really, really cool. And we'll forever be indebted to them, and we consider them family for life for sure.
And where are those guys from?
They're from Alaska, but they're all Portland based now. The band is an Alaska based band, but they've been in Portland for a long time.
Okay. Did you get to go to Portland on a tour stop?
Yeah, on the second tour we did with them, John had invited everyone to a big cookout, and I'm a passionate chef, so I drove 11 hours from Wyoming to Portland, got off the bus, and then started cooking for another 10 hours, and I had a great time. We had a big beautiful barbecue at his house just outside of the area, and it was really cool. Really delicious.
What was on the menu? Come on.
Oh man, I can't remember. I cooked so much. I'm a big like I love to cure up some chicken, and then I love to do lots of roasted veg and make a beautiful salsa verde and big pieces of meat and lots of roasted vegetables. I'm not a very fancy barbecuer. I just love good big hearty flavors and
Yeah,
really well seasoned stuff.
that's awesome. So when you guys are on tour, like for that tour, like did you cook a lot or were you going out to eat or what was it 50/50 or
We don't. It's funny. The first time we went on tour, we were like, we're gonna cook all the time, save a bunch of money. And the first thing we did, we went to Sam's Club or Costco, and we got all this stuff. And there was this giant, like 5 gallon olive oil we got, and we hit a bad bump, and the olive oil spilled out everywhere in the RV that we rented, and the olive oil was spilling out all over the sides, and so bad. So most of the time we're eating out, and I have a bunch of us, but namely me, we have a very big love for local food. So like, if we're in Texas, I'm gonna go find the best barbecue. If we're in like California, I want to find the best tacos. I want to get the best regional food, and I don't really like eating like the common shit that everyone gets. I like to go find like the real insider stuff. Yeah.
are you kind of afraid for like the restaurant industry, like in this country?
Not to be too dark, man. I'm kind of afraid of a lot of things for the country, man. I think it's a really tough time, and a lot of people are struggling, and struggle creates more division, and more division creates less stuff. And it's a shame what's happening with the person who was chosen to lead this country. But I think that we as people will stick together, and we're going to continue to make things better, and we're going to continue to persevere because we can't be squashed out by greed. So
Yeah.
it's scary, but as long as and it's a shame these people are in danger, but as long as like some Guatemalan woman or Mexican man could be on the corner selling tamales, there'll always be good food.
Yeah.
You know, as long as there's a taco truck somewhere, there'll always be good food, or some small Vietnamese restaurant. But we try to stick together and really take care of each other, because you're right, things are getting more expensive only for the reason of mass conglomerate bullshit. So we just got to keep supporting these places.
Yeah.
Shop local, everybody.
So the struggle really between any artist is trying to, that the art versus the commodity, like you're trying to obviously make a living, but at the same time you're doing it for the art. How much is that a struggle for you guys as a band?
Um, I think we are not like we're not pompous in that way. I think that like the art we make can still be commodified, and the fact we love to write hit songs. That's a goal. That's a beautiful thing. But also we don't really our musicality will never be in
Beyonce.
question. It'll never be in question. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I hope one day we're Beyonce, but I'm saying that like we'll never dumb down things just to make somebody happy. Like we might make things more simple, but it'll never be something that will make us be like, oh, we're not playing our truth.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's talk about the rest of the summer, man. We've got the Roots picnic next weekend, correct? Which is huge. How did that come about?
Um, Hard fucking work, man. We have a great booking agent. We have great relationships with the local talent buyers in the scene, and I think we've been working really hard to be recognized on this level. The team has been we've always wanted to do this, and after it'll be 5 years this August, we got it, and it's a big moment for us to get this opportunity. So we're super excited, and it's very validating.
Yeah. Have you met any of the members of the Roots?
Yeah, I mean, we went to go check out the Late Show, or is it the
Tonight
Late
Show.
Tonight Show.
Yeah.
We went to go check out the Tonight Show, met a bunch of them there. We've been friends with them, other guys and them earlier on before Snack was a thing, but we just actually opened up for them last week at Brooklyn Bowl for a weed event thrown by Rhythm. So we were able to hang backstage with them. It was really cool.
Yeah, rhythm's very nice. I'm more of a strain guy myself, but I like rhythm.
Yeah.
So, I would assume that all those guys then do or no
Do
partake.
Not us. I mean, a bunch of us do. I do.
Okay.
Some of us very much do not. But we respect people's rights to choose and to have it legally. That's for sure.
Right. Definitely, definitely, definitely. So let's talk about, man, like, because this is just so cool. You guys are going to be the house band for Jason Kelsey's late night talk show, or you are currently, obviously,
No,
right?
no, we did it. We did it already. We did it in January.
Okay. So it was just a one-off then, or how, what?
As we know now, we have not heard anything about season two. We are hoping for it. But we haven't heard anything yet. But we love the opportunity that we were able to get, and it was really cool.
So did you see a bump in your Spotify stuff and everything, or your
Um,
numbers?
it's funny. It's sort of the idea of critical mass, right? It's like everything is contributing to it. So, no, the day after we played the Kelsey Show, did we notice a big bump? But we did get a big bump at some point, and that led to more stuff. So, everything is everything, and it all leads to something great.
Yeah. So what's he like to work with? I mean, did you get to talk to him? Did you get to hang out with him?
Yeah, he was super cool. I mean, we were able to. He gave us the opportunity to, I was in the read throughs every Thursday and contributing parts to the show and like contributing to some of the writing sections where it was like, oh, how can we use the music here? And that's super cool. Like, they would be like, oh, like, can we have some music here? And I'd get to go home and write a piece of music that the band would play the next day, like, a couple hours later. So it was really cool.
So any other moments like that during the tapings like that you had?
Yeah, I mean, we were just chopping it up all the time. It was a really small set. So, we ran into each other. He was joking with us, talking with us. It was cool.
Do you feel like that experience made you guys better players or better band?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Everything makes us more versatile and everything makes us better. And, to have that opportunity to be like doing that kind of work on that kind of stage is really cool. It's intense, it was really intense to be on a show like that.
Now, it
Uh,
wasn't a live audience though, correct?
Live audience, yeah, not live. It was live to tape.
And how many episodes did you guys do?
I think it was six or five.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, so it was an hour-long episode, like from the time you got there to the time you were done. Like, how long were you guys there each day?
long days. We'd get there at 10 a.m. We'd leave at like 7 p.m.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So it was, I mean, you couldn't have really done anything else during that time that you were doing that.
yeah. We were sitting there getting the music ready, getting everything ready. It was cool. It was big, long, intense days. We really liked it.
And I would assume he's a big foodie too, then, correct or not?
Yes, Jason loves to eat for sure. Yeah.
So we got the Newport Folk Festival. Have any of you been to that festival as patrons before?
Ben has been to the Jazz Fest. I think only he has been to it, but we all are very aware of its iconicness, and we're super excited about it.
Well, Newport, my friend, if you're a foodie, it is like, oh my God, the seafood in that town is just out of this world.
Yeah, we are super excited.
So what also is cool about that fort or about that festival is obviously it's played at a fort, but it's on an island, so you can actually take a ferry from downtown Newport across the harbor, and it'll drop you off right at the fort. Like it's amazing. Like we like the one night it was sunset, so like you got to see the sunset over the harbor. It's super dope.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So do you know what day you're playing?
Let me double check. We are playing on.
Because it's what, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
Yeah, let me just double check. We're Newport Folk Fest Friday.
Friday. Nice. So you get to kick it off, baby.
Yeah,
That's gonna be awesome.
yeah, Friday, the quad stage.
Yeah, yeah, that's the good stage. Definitely.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Um,
awesome.
and then we're opening for Fits and the Tantrums. I mean,
Yeah,
what like almost kind of a match made in heaven almost, right? Like musically, would you agree?
I I'm glad you say that. Yes, I mean it's two bands that love to get a crowd going, and we are super excited about it. Like, those guys have like generational hits, so it's like it's a it's a task, man. We have to come and like these people know good music, so we're excited to show them what we got, and also hope that they see the same connection that you see in us. You know what I mean?
Well, I think really the connection is like you said, it's a party when you see them. They're gonna make you dance, right? And it's mostly upbeat, like like very rhythmic, fast pace, not fast paced, but like the pace is,
Yeah, it's hype. It's
yeah,
hype.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
lit for sure.
yeah. So I think that all, if you have those three connections, that's pretty much all you need, right?
Exactly right.
And both great, both great lead singers too, right?
Very much so.
So yeah, we're hoping to see you when you guys come to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
August 15th. Because you guys, this is pretty much a nationwide tour, correct?
Yep. We're gonna just be we're gonna be doing just the bit of the Northeast. We're not doing the whole thing, but we're super excited
Okay,
to be part of just that part that we're gonna be doing in the
sure.
Northeast.
Yeah, that's and a lot of bands do that. That's not unusual for an opening band to only play, a handful of dates,
Oh
not
yeah,
the
yeah,
entire
yeah,
tour.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I want to talk about, how we got to see you and really how we kind of like got turned on to you was at South by Southwest. Austin, Texas, again, a foodie's haven. You've played there twice, correct? This was your second time playing. How was this year compared to the previous time you played?
Every year gets better. The first year was sort of really intense. We did not know what to expect, and we got we handled it well, but it was definitely super intense. But our management and our booking agent and has was able to get us a really great second year of really cool looks and really amazing times, and it worked out great for us. It was like we played awesome awesome houses. Last year we did Rolling Stone. This year we did Pace, and we did uh, you know, all sorts of really cool houses, and we met lots of cool people that I think have gotten us a lot further already this year. And the year's just begun.
Well, and that's kind of the underrated part of South by. It's not just playing the performances, it's connecting, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's everything. That's life. I don't believe in networking. I believe in hanging out with people, and for that. you find that you get along with each other, and that's a cool thing. And like that's what the world's about, you know what I mean? It's like it's about finding the people you vibe with, and then like if that happens to benefit you, that's cool. But it's more importantly just to make the hang and meet the people.
So with eight members in a band, it's can't be 100% rosy all the time. Like what are the arguments that we get into like most frequently, if there are any?
You know, it's just it's the arguments are matters of like how we write these songs, how they come together, what do we want to do? People getting on each other's nerves, people showing up late, people showing up early, people being overbearing, people being, it's just it's you see each other every day, and it's like it's a lot. You're hanging out with your homies every single day in a very close environment. So the arguments that happen are always erased after you play these amazing shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I agree with you. So we saw you at the Yeti store, and
Yeah, that was
I
a good
mean,
one.
yeah, I mean, the crowd was on point for that show. Obviously, there were people there that knew your music. I actually got to meet Lance Armstrong during your show, of all people.
Lance Armstrong was in our set.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he was just, so yeah, so full story. So this guy, we're standing kind of like directly center of you guys, but more toward the back. And this guy started talking to us like in between one of the songs, and he's like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, Lance Armstrong. And I'm like, wait, did you just say Lance Armstrong? And he's like, yeah. And he points over to him, and he's like, yeah, he's right over there sitting with like his buddy. And I was like, I kind of like, cockeyed my head, looked to look over, and sure enough, it sure looked like him. So yeah,
Unbelievable.
after your set, like I walked up to him and yeah, he was very nice. Talked to him about his appearance on, Rogan's podcast because I
Yeah,
listened to that and yeah, so he was there to you have a fan, buddy.
that's so cool. We have to connect with them.
Yeah. And he lives down there, so it didn't, it wasn't a big surprise for him to be there, but yeah, so
That's awesome. I gotta say what's up.
yeah. So like any other celebrity sightings or anybody that you met at South by like this year?
Oh man. We went to the Spotify show that we went to the show that Spotify and DraftKings put on. We got to see Blink-182 and Meg the Stallion, which was awesome. Let me think. I try my oh, I didn't realize my camera turned off. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I try my best to not be like a fan. It's I just try to like be as chill about it as possible. I see what happened. My phone picked up the. Give me a second. There we go.
Oh, that's cool.
I try to be as chill as possible about
Yeah.
all of this. So, anyways, if I come into contact with celebrities, it's me trying to be chill as possible. But all that being said, me and Ben, my best friend and tennis expert from the band, we're at the show at the Spotify show, and we're just walking around, and we see this very niche Instagram celebrity named Vegas Matt, and he does like really weird gambling videos where he'll like go drop like $15,000 on two hands of blackjack and he'll lose or he'll win. And anyways, he's like a very niche celebrity, but me and Ben are like, oh my God, is that Vegas Matt? And like we were totally fans. We're like, yo, it's so cool to meet you, bro. Da, 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 da. And like me and him were like, what? Because we were just talking about it. It was really funny.
That's so
Side note, we got to hang out with Flava Flav this weekend, which was sick. I have a friend connection. My friend is his cousin that I used to be in a band with, and so we got to hang out with Flava Flav and got him a Snack Time jersey, which was really cool.
yeah, I saw that you guys posted that on your IG. That was cool.
Yeah.
So did he share any stories or any
Oh
experiences?
no, we didn't. No. He it was right after his set, and the other one was during Sublime. So we weren't like I wasn't trying to you
Yeah.
know
Oh, yeah, I got you.
trying to hold him up, but it was just cool to hang.
So yeah, did you stick around and see any bands or artists at Boston
Oh
College?
yeah. Oh yeah. We saw Sublime, Fall Out Boy. Remy Wolf, some of Spin Doctors, saw some Dave Matthews Band, saw a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I would guess
Public Enemy was unreal.
you would have a little inspiration from Dave Matthews, huh?
If you would have asked me that before I actually saw them, I would have said no. But you know what? I come to think about it, when we watch them, I can see a bit of a connection there because their music is not necessarily as genre specific as it is just like cool music with great musicians. So seeing them was a really cool experience. I'd never had that opportunity before. It was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, their 2 night stints at Camden, are legendary. I mean, they've done that, schedule almost at least before the pandemic. So
Yeah.
Philly loves Dave.
Yeah, they do for sure. And they are hardworking.
Yeah, they are. They really are. So let's talk about somebody else that's hardworking. Sammy Miller. She's really done a lot for you guys as a band. Talk about her relationship with you guys and what she's done.
Yeah, Sammy is awesome. She is part of our management company's staff, and she's a newer addition to our team. And Sammy has been able to really streamline a lot of our stuff and make it so that we get focused on our music. And she is so friendly and loving and makes everyone feel seen and heard, but also like is totally a badass in organizing all this stuff and making sure that we're to everything on time and everything's always in place for us. The food is right and our riders are right. And it's really cool. Sammy has been super helpful to our up and coming successes.
Yeah. So that was the other question I wanted to ask you about touring. You personally, like, are you a fan of touring? Like, can you sleep? Are you a good sleeper? Like, are you
Yeah,
okay?
it's funny. I do love touring. It sometimes for me, touring is easier than doing a one-off festival. Like touring is like you get into this mode of like, cool, you might drive out 8 hours and then you go play and then you pack up your merch and go home and sleep. And my sleep, fall right asleep, right? Like I'm not like in bed on my phone. I'm like if I get home at 1:30, I'm sleeping straight till 7 a.m. But it can be hard. It can be challenging to be away from your loved ones and your friends and but I think the excitement is more so the excitement of being there really is keeps us going. I think you know, it's not the best thing to be jammed into a van, but to give the opportunity of being able to be given the opportunity to be able to play these songs in front of people who don't know us is like, we can't complain about the thing that we asked for, right? So I love it.
Yeah. Well, and speaking about excitement, getting to meet Devin Gafillion had to be one of your highlights, right? I mean, talk about him as a musician and like that, how that came about.
Yeah, I mean, Devin is fucking awesome. He's one of our very, very good friends, and I was put in touch with Devin because my friend Ray Mason, who's a fantastic trombone player, played with him at Newport Folk Festival 4 years ago, and he introduced me to Devin, his brother Ryan, and his brother Ryan was moving to our area, and then he like came and sat in with us, and then later on that year we sat in with with Devin at Exponential Music Festival, which was really cool. And then later on that year, later on a couple years later, we did a record together. We did a version of our song together, which was super cool. And we remain to be friends today. We talk all the time. And his drummer and his manager, John Small, he and I play video games all the time. So, we're really grateful for that connection.
So are you an Xbox or a PS guy?
I am a PS5 guy, and I have to say I did not care at all about video games for a long time because there's something about me that like I like to if I'm gonna play video games, I want to be good at them. And I never had the time to be good at them, but now I like to get away from work as much. I've been focusing on playing some video games. So I've been playing this one game called Marvel Rivals, which I've been going crazy. If I'm home, I'm spending 5, 6, 7 hours sometimes just sitting on my couch playing this game. So I don't play a lot of games, but I play that. I play a little bit of NCAA. Yeah, it's fun. It's nice to get out of your head and just chill and play some video games.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. So Devin Gilfillian, he put out his album, was it last year or 2 years ago?
I believe it was 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any word on any new music that he's coming out with or
I have heard some really good stuff that I cannot talk about, but just know that at some point there will be some really good Devin Gilfillian music coming out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So what does your audience have to expect for new music coming out?
We got some good stuff. Keep your eyes peeled. We have a couple of really great tracks to follow up Sunshine, and you're gonna like them a lot.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, yeah, let's talk about I want to talk about two songs in particular. I Don't Give a Damn. What was the inspiration for that? I mean, I can kind of come up with it, but who did you write that or
Yeah, that's another one that I wrote. The inspiration at first, it's funny, was actually from a little bit more of a toxic place than when it winded up in. It was a little bit younger in our career, and there was people talking about, X, Y, and Z about us, and it bothered me, and it kind of hurt my feelings. And so I wrote this song that's like basically like this, like, oh yeah, like I don't give a damn, blah blah blah, like this whole long song that took me hours to write about how much I don't care about something, which obviously I do care. Um, But then, like, once we kind of started talking about it in the band, and by the time it came to record, we just wanted to like really, instead of be like talking about all this shit that bothers you, like you can't. It's more so about like not giving credence to the things that bother you. Like worry about the things that make you feel good. Don't care about the things that actually hurt you. Like, don't say I don't give a damn, and then like be thinking about it. Like say, okay, like I can't give a damn about these annoying things that are happening to me because that really doesn't matter. The most important thing is, the love and the things that we share between the people that care about us. So it's sort of this like song about uh brushing it off your shoulder a little bit, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of talking shit, SDTS, the other song I wanted to talk about, what was the inspiration for that song? And I imagine that's a fun song just to play live, correct?
Yeah, that was, that was one that was just like, one of us came up with a funny thing to say based off a riff, and then a couple of us got together and wrote a couple rap verses, and that's that's that. It's a song about our early days as a band, playing a million gigs a day, and drinking beers and smoking joints and talking about everything. It's kind of just what it was like. Not a deep song, just a fun song.
Yeah. So let's talk about your some of your favorite covers that you guys have either played or that you're currently playing.
Favorite cover that we played or currently playing. We right now have I'm not going to mention it in interview because I like when people get the surprise of it. We have a really cool bit of a cover in one of our songs now, which come see us play and you'll come see it. But um, I love doing Rage Against the Machine's "Killing in the Name," where I get to step out from behind the bass and get to sing "Killing in the Name," which is fucking awesome. I gotta go back to my punk band roots and sing. It's really fun. It's a really the crowd loves it. It's a blast.
Yeah, I work at Trogs Brewery, so I had a coworker that was talking about Woodstock the other day, and I was like, yeah, I was like Woodstock '99 I went to, and they were like, no way, and I was like, yeah, it was like I got to see Rage Against the Machine with 200,000 people, like
What did you actually think about Woodstock '99?
it was amazing, dude. I like for as bad as it was, and for as what we witnessed, like it was bad. The performances made up for it, dude. Like it was absolutely amazing. Like there were so many great performances, and like hanging out in the airport hangars at 4 in the morning, listening to Moby and Fatboy Slim.
Yeah.
Like you know,
I mean, I do hear that like a lot of people like they I think in retrospect are being like, yeah, it was really fucked up, and it probably was, but like I hear from a lot of people who were there like, yeah, it was fucked up, but it was amazing.
yeah, like it really, like yeah, there was shit everywhere. Yes, like were people looting like tents? Yes, was like it, like the whole place burning. Yes, like did they rip you off? Yes, but like. It was amazing. Like it was absolutely amazing. Like nine of us went up. Like we had like a quarter pound of weed, like a sheet of ecstasy, like a sheet of of acid. Like
That
yeah, we
sounds,
did it up, man. Like
yeah,
I was
man. And you li
22.
and you live to tell the tale.
Exactly. We drove 6 hours to this fucking bumfuck town in New York, upstate New York.
Yeah,
Yeah. But it was a good time, man. Hell yeah. That's how you do it, right?
I love it, man.
So, Sam, so the last question for you. So you mentioned about XPN, like XPN, the radio station, if no one knows it, like for Philadelphia, A, it's an institution. B, it has really helped a lot of careers, especially for local bands. At what point in your guys' career did you start to notice them starting to support you guys?
They have been supporting us basically off rip from as long as they could support us, they have been. You know, we started in the streets and there are people who knew us from the channel. I used to be sort of the
Remember?
boss of two of Bruce Warren, who was the old program director
Yep.
of his two sons. I was sort of their boss at a place we worked at, but they have always been supportive. And like the minute we were able to like get some music out there, they were supporting it. They were giving us opportunities to do their featured shows. They put us on their festivals. So we are super grateful for WXPN and everything they've been able to give to us and do for us.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, they are truly like the people's radio station. And in this day and age of iHeartRadio and all this conglomeration, it's real refreshing to have a radio station that we can still listen to like them.
Yeah, for sure. For And that's why we'll always support public radio.
Yeah. Well, on that note, my friend, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you. Hope to see you guys in August in Harrisburg. Best of luck at the Roots Picnic this weekend and the rest of the festivals this summer. Yeah, man, you guys are killing it.
Thank you so much, man. We're really looking forward to seeing you in Harrisburg and keep in touch, brother.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, our social media pages. That helps us. That helps the bands and artists like Snack Time. Also, check out our sponsor, RAR Outfitters. That's RAWR, outfitters.com. Don't just wear, RAR. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Dog. You've been great. This is the Music Lab Podcast.